I think what inspired me the most to become an engineer is my obsession with the inception of things. As a child, I've always liked to hang around at my cousin's workshop, and upon taking a mechanics course at high school, I found myself very much interested in Newtonian mechanics, physics and maths. I also like using my hands and working in teams, and so I found that working at a design consultancy such as Atkins, where you get to work in multidisciplinary teams, is a perfect fit for myself.
Well, it probably goes back in time to when I was growing up. I'm quite a visual person, and my grandfather was a quantity surveyor, and he used to take me around the sort of compounds that he worked on when he was in that industry. And I have to admit, I was always very impressed to see that he'd been involved with something that was actually all real and a built asset that I could actually visually see. So that led me to basically go into civil engineering and study that at university. And then later on I moved into infrastructure consultancy after doing an MBA, and I've never looked back since.
Well, you know, when I graduated in civil engineering, there were 2 females on my course and 88 men. It was all about the career for me and the course and being an engineer. It didn't faze me neither up nor down about whether there were more males, and I've always felt that that is the case in the industry. We're always going to be in a predominantly male-focused industry. I doubt very much that that will change. What we have seen is an increase in the percentage of women coming into engineering. Probably back in those days it was about 5 to 10%, it's now 15 to 20%, and that's positive. I think the place to capture bringing them in is at graduate level, and healthily in Atkins we have about 35 to 40% of females coming into the business, but it's all about the talent. You know, we want to attract the right candidates, and whether they're male or female, that's what our focus is.
I think women bring a lot to the table because we look at things in a different perspective, and I think the best teams are the ones that consist of both genders. You become more efficient, and you look at different angles to the same situation.
I think it's around partly gender diversity, but also cultural diversity. So I don't want to get too sidelined and just women in the business. But I mean, there's a book, I think, Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. We're different, right? So, and that brings different things to the business. I think it's all around, generally around adaptive behaviour and your ability to change and adapt, and I think less around client focus and more about being centric with the client. And I think the difference between men and women largely is you know, partly I guess you could say that if you generalise things, men are perhaps could be seen as more egotistical, whereas women's emotional intelligence, and certainly my experience, is far higher. So I think it's around balance in the business. I don't think you need to go out your way to get more women in the business. I think it should be natural, and it isn't at the moment.
Well, what do I think women build a business? Well, my immediate thought would be fun, but that sounds a very strange answer. But I think that mixed teams are so much more effective, mainly because of the blending. Certainly in our environment, in infrastructure, we need to be creative, and mixed teams bring that creation because you have different nationalities, different genders, and different ways of looking at things. So it's very important. I also find that women in the workplace are often relied upon sometimes to solve some of the more complicated problems, which tend to be more political or around communication. More often than not, I will find myself in a situation where we have difficulties with some of our clients. There could be a conflict at the table, and I'm invited in rather than the men to actually help resolve that and act as a mediator, or definitely bring some more diplomacy to the table. So women are absolutely vital in our infrastructure and engineering environment. I can't reiterate that more.
I think it's absolutely vital that we attract a more gender diverse workforce in 2 perspectives really. First is that the projects that we produce, men and women use. So whether you're flying through an airport, whether you're on a metro, whether you're using roads, whether you're in hotels or whatever, men and women use those projects, and it's vitally important that we understand how to deliver those for everyone that uses them. But also importantly, it's about the way we make decisions in the company. And I'm a great believer that the more diverse your workforce are, the more diverse you have people in the room when you're making decisions, the better those decisions are. and women play a massively important part in that decision-making process.
I think it's really important that women feel that they have a career path when they join Atkins, and that they can see that moving forward. It's only natural that they will leave to have families, and the majority of women will anyway, and we want them to feel that they can come back after that career break and that they will be retained within the business and their career is still ahead of them. We also want to make sure that we retain and attract the best talent, and I think the Women's Business Network sends a very positive message. You know, how the company values diversity.
Construction is always perceived by the society as a male industry. It's maybe because in the actual work on site, we can rarely see women during doing the actual work on site. But what most people don't really understand is that women can work from the background, design, estimating. There are already a lot of women working or involved in the construction industry. And I don't think it is still a controversy in this generation and in the coming generation that women can play major roles in the construction industry.
It is extremely critical for Atkins to recruit and attract a very diversified workforce, both from a gender but also ethnicity perspective. I think in Atkins we realize the value of this because we have close to 60 different nationalities, but from a gender perspective, any good international and professional organization to be successful has understood that. Atkins is no different. I think it's extremely critical because women deals with issues, manage and lead teams very differently, but also the way they deal with clients. So it is extremely important for us to have a right balance of men and women across all levels of the organization.
What attracted me to apply for a job in Atkins is the scale of the project that Atkins works on and the challenge behind the possibility to participate in projects on a global scale.
My great achievement is I became a planner in this heavy industry, and I proved myself. I didn't escape for another field and I didn't look for another job with the comfortable nature to prove myself. And I shaped my character and my personality. I'm getting stronger day by day and I am learning, and I contributed in big projects on the level of the Middle East, and I am happy with that.
I think my greatest achievement has probably been the transfer to the grade of Fellow of the Institution of Civil Engineers, which I achieved last year. There are only another 2 female fellows in the region, and after 26 years in this region, I'm quite delighted to have reached that grade.
What's my greatest achievement? Well, that's quite a hard one, but I have to say it probably is finally, or maybe almost, getting to a point where I'm actually balancing my career and my family life. I struggled for many years, at one point prioritising my career, another stage prioritising my family, always feeling torn, never feeling entirely comfortable, and certainly feeling that I wasn't doing a very good job at either. But finally now I think I can have the confidence to say I'm definitely there. I just hope I can maintain it, and I know that my children are very happy and I'm really, really enjoying my career, and it's still just as challenging as ever.